Japan is a really interesting place for animals and nature. It has different kinds of landscapes and animals all over the country, from the north to the south. There are lots of animals in Japan that you can't find anywhere else in the world. Even though many people live in Japan, there's still plenty of space for animals. This is because Japan has lots of mountains, which means there are big cities, but also areas of land where people don't live. Some animals from other places have come to Japan and caused problems. They spread and hurt the environment and the economy. But don't worry, Japan has some animals of its own that fight back against these invaders. Some of them even eat the invaders to help control their numbers. In this video, we'll learn about 3 Japanese animals that help to hunt and control these invaders. They're like superheroes for the environment. Let's see how they do it. One major issue we face globally is the invasion of certain species, and one such troublemaker is the koipu, also known as nutria. This large herbivorous rodent, resembling a bulky muskrat, has become a menace not only in Japan, but in numerous countries worldwide. Interestingly, its cousin, the muskrat, is also causing problems in Japan, but the focus here is on the koipu due to its larger size and more significant impact. The koipu, originally from South America, was brought to various parts of the world for its fur. In Japan, the first introduction occurred around 1939 during the war, with koipu fur farms established for military and consumer purposes. Unfortunately, many koipus either escaped or were released in large numbers. Their presence not only led to competition with native species, but also wreaked havoc on ecosystems and had a detrimental effect on farming. Japan, being a major producer of various crops, including the staple rice, faces severe challenges when koipu invade areas with rice paddies. These paddies serve as habitats for numerous creatures, and the koipu's burrowing habits can cause significant damage. Their burrows, dug into riverbanks and the sides of rice paddies, may result in collapses, leading to the drainage of the paddies and flooding of surrounding areas. This not only impacts crop yields, but also harms smaller creatures residing in the rice paddies. The koipu's disruptive behavior extends beyond agriculture, affecting the natural habitats of various creatures, including large ground-nesting birds. In Japan, there are a lot of Japanese black bears, which might seem tough to manage, but some other animals are there to assist. The Japanese black bear is quite famous and is a type of Asian black bear. These bears live on 2 main Japanese islands, Honshu and Shikoku. However, most of them are in Honshu, as there are fewer than 30 bears on Shikoku. They used to be in Kyushu, but disappeared around 1987. Poaching, where people hunt these bears for their body parts, has caused their numbers to drop. People are afraid of getting attacked by these bears, and their body parts are expensive on the illegal market. Japanese black bears are smaller than Asian black bears, and mostly eat plants. In spring, they munch on grass and herbs, and in summer, they switch to berries and nuts. Sometimes, they eat other animals like the Japanese sero, wild boar, and sika deer. They also go after koipu in wetlands. There aren't many big predators in Japan, which has allowed koipu to spread easily. The decline in Japanese black bears might make this worse. It would be great if more efforts are made to protect these bears in the future, because they are one of the few animals that keep koipu in check. It's important to find ways to help the Japanese black bear population. Conservation efforts, like creating protected areas and educating people about the importance of these bears, can make a difference. Our next big problem animal in Japan is the raccoon. It's famous for causing trouble and has become a major issue not only in Japan, but also in Central Europe. Raccoons are very clever and can easily adapt to different environments, making them successful invaders. They thrive in both the wild and cities, making them challenging to remove once they settle in. Raccoons first came to Japan in the late 50s and early 60s, but the majority arrived in the late 70s. This influx was triggered by the popularity of the anime series Rascal the Raccoon. People were captivated by the show and wanted raccoons as pets. Around 150 raccoons were imported each year as pets, and many of them either escaped or were abandoned. Now, you can find these raccoons in 42 out of the 47 prefectures in Japan. These raccoons are causing significant problems for both the environment and the economy. In Hokkaido alone, they are responsible for approximately 30 million yen worth of damage to agriculture. They also directly prey on native animals like snakes and amphibians. Similar to their reputation in America, raccoons in Japan rummage through garbage and spread diseases to native mammals. Since a large number of raccoons are concentrated around cities, native species struggle to defend themselves. Cities lack many large predators, but there is one native creature that thrives in urban areas, the Japanese raccoon dog, also known as tanuki. The tanuki is a special kind of dog that you can find only in Japan. Even though it's called a raccoon dog, it's not really related to raccoons. People think it got the name because of the marks on its face. In Japan, the tanuki is a big deal deal in stories and culture. People like having them around because they're seen as good creatures. Tanuki are known for being playful and happy. In stories, they can change their appearance and trick people, but sometimes they can be a bit silly. You can see tanuki a lot in Japanese art, especially in statues. If you've been to Japan, you might have noticed tanuki statues outside shops and restaurants. These statues bring good luck and happiness, but there's a funny thing about them. If you look below the waist, it might surprise you. Tanuki and raccoons are almost the same size, and even though tanuki don't directly go after raccoons, they kind of compete with them. They both live in the same places and eat similar things. Tanuki are also comfortable in cities, so wherever raccoons go, they have to deal with tanuki competition. Raccoons coming to Japan haven't been good for tanuki, but at least tanuki help keep raccoon numbers in check a little bit. If tanuki weren't around, there might be even more raccoons in Japan. Even though tanuki can't really fight raccoons, they still play a small part in controlling how many there are. For a final problem species, exploring the issue of invasive species in freshwater environments, we find a variety of problematic species to consider. Japan in particular faces challenges with invasive fish, many of which originate from North America. Among them are the channel catfish, bluegill, smallmouth bass, and largemouth bass. In this discussion, our focus will be on another North American invader, the rainbow trout. The rainbow trout is known for its appealing appearance and is one of the attractive freshwater fish native to North America. Similar to other problematic species, the rainbow trout has been introduced to various countries globally. It is often brought in as a sport fish and a source of food. Fishermen appreciate rainbow trout for their energetic resistance during fishing and their delectable taste, making them a popular choice for introduction into different regions, including Japan. However, the introduction of rainbow trout has led to adverse effects on native crustacean species and indigenous fish populations in Japan. The country is home to several native trout and salmon species, and the rainbow trout poses a threat by competing with and hybridizing with them. Fortunately, Japan hosts native species that actively prey on rainbow trout, providing a natural check on their population. One notable predator is the Japanese giant salamander, which holds the distinction of being the second largest salamander globally, surpassed only by the giant Chinese salamander. The Japanese giant salamander shares a close kinship with its Chinese counterpart. These amphibians usually live in fast-flowing streams in the mountains. They prefer places where trout and salmon are commonly found. These salamanders mainly hunt at night when their prey is not expecting it. They eat a variety of things like crayfish and small mammals, but most of their diet consists of fish. Interestingly, they feed on both native and invasive fish. While they do help control the fish population to some extent, the Japanese giant salamander itself is facing a decline in numbers. Pollution and the loss of their natural habitats are major reasons for this decline. However, the Japanese ecosystem has other native predators that can keep the population of rainbow trout in check. If you know about other species that could be added to this list, please share your thoughts in the comments below. It's important to note that invasive species are not necessarily villains, but there are reasons for efforts to eliminate them. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and subscribe for more similar content. Until next time, goodbye.